Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, last day of Labor Day weekend, we are seeing some pretty good pumps go on right now. And this does relate to Ethereum's merge, which is definitely coming up. So we're definitely seeing good traction with Ethereum Classic, and many other projects tonight. So let's talk about what's happening exactly and what we can look forward to this week. So smash all the likes, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media, check out CryptosRUs.com, and make sure you follow my other channels, as some of you guys have. New video posted pretty much every single day on my other channels, including this one. So welcome, guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Look at where we are right now. Global market cap just pumped up 2%. Now we're above that $1 trillion market cap. I've been talking about this last week. We were like just right there. We couldn't pass it, and boom, tonight we're seeing it. We're seeing some greens, especially with Ethereum. Look at Ethereum up about 5%, up to 1660, right? So trying to close in at that 2,000 mark once again. So we're seeing some good traction with Ethereum, but also, I mean, I got to mention, look at Ethereum Classic up 24, 25%, right? All due to this merge that's coming up. So let's talk about it. Man, a lot of super chats in already. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Arneal asked about Cosmos, Atom. You know what? Both have been doing really well. It's been recovering quite nicely, and I do like both. Well, they're the same project, but I do like it. I think there's a lot of things going on in the Cosmos ecosystem. CH is asking about ERGO, right? Well, that does relate also, because a lot of people are speculating where the miners are going to go, right? So we have that going on. I'll get to that a little bit. An early place. Let's go ETH. Appreciate it, man. So there's a lot that's going on, right? There's a lot going on in September, not just Ethereum. Right after Ethereum, about a week later, we got the Cardano hard fork too. So we could definitely see some movement with Cardano and some of the related projects too. But right now, all eyes are on the merge. Big merge that's coming up, right? So yeah, we're getting good movement tonight with the merge. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is not really seeing much movement. Bitcoin pumped up above 20,000, right? But it's still hovering. We're not seeing any major movement with Bitcoin. So unfortunately, there's still this huge correlation with Bitcoin and the U.S. markets, specifically NASDAQ, right? And I created a video this weekend, I think on Saturday for you guys, about that topic. I think right now, unfortunately, what we're seeing is a lot of the institutional players, the big players, that treat Bitcoin as if it was a tech stock, as if it's the same as, I don't know, Netflix or Google or Microsoft, right, or NVIDIA. They're treating it, they're putting it in the same bucket. So unfortunately, when they make a decision on, oh, let's sell off tech, they're selling off Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin, unfortunately, is stuck where it is right now because of all the institutional traders, and I say traders, not investors. They're just kind of like unsure of what's going on, right? So I think we're seeing a lot of that. But for the rest of the market, the crypto market, like Ethereum and others, not as invested by these institutions. And that is why I think the holders are coming back in, putting more money in, DCAing their bags, right? Because they feel good about what's coming up, right? And I think that's what's happening. And look at Bitcoin dominance fell down dramatically within the last day. Since I created that video about, Bitcoin dominance, right? It has gone down way lower. Now we're at 38.3%. We're closing in at all-time low for Bitcoin dominance. So think about that. ETH dominance now above 20%. So we're definitely, gaining strength on Ethereum and others, while Bitcoin dominance is slowly coming down. And for those of you guys that watched the video, great. But those of you guys that didn't, this is the first time in Bitcoin's history where Bitcoin dominance is going down, okay, without a FOMO pump. So normally you get FOMO pumps of altcoins. That's when Bitcoin dominance goes down, because altcoin dominance start going up. But that only happens during like the tail end altcoin season, right? But this is the first time in Bitcoin's history we have ever seen this before, we're not in altcoin season. We're not having FOMO pumps right now, right? And even with that, with those two things lacking, altcoin diamond is still going up. But imagine when we do get true altcoin season, how fantastic it'll be, right? But it's very different, very, very different this time around. All right, now moving on. What else is there? Just a few things. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but I did find this, and the irony of this is missed by many. You know how California have they basically said, okay, you can't sell a new gas-powered car in 2035. Okay, afterwards, it all has to be EV, right? Which shocked the world, shocked the U.S., shocked everyone, saying, okay, this is ridiculous, right? And now California's like, no, it's okay. We're going to do this, and you're going to follow, right? And then, weeks later, now you have California telling people to shut it down at 4 p.m. So don't charge your car after 4 p.m. because we have to protect the grid. That we don't have enough electricity because supposedly there's like some kind of a heat wave going on. Too many people are using AC, so they're telling people to shut it down, right? So how can you have, everyone switch to EV cars, yet you're telling people to shut down the grid? You see the irony there, right? So just thought I'd point that out. I think some of these officials, they don't really think about it. They just think, oh, this is a good idea. Let's just push for all EV cars. And then, a few weeks later, like, oh, okay, maybe our infrastructure can't handle it yet. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. What else is there? Going back to Ethereum Merge, there's a lot of exchanges that are, of course, are supporting this. Almost every single exchange out there, every single wallet maker is supporting this. But just so you know, all the large exchanges, including FTX, Coinbase, Binance, everyone, right? They will be suspending deposits and withdrawals when the merge happens. And there's a couple of dates because there needs to be like a pre-merge and then an actual merge. The actual merge is supposed to be September 15th, but there's like an upgrade, a pre-merge that's September 6th. That's tomorrow, okay? So don't get freaked out if you wake up tomorrow and then you're like, oh, I can't deposit or withdraw ETH. What's going on? Is it broken? Just know that all major exchanges, they have to upgrade. They have to upgrade to this pre-upgrade. So they're suspending deposits and withdrawals, right? That's tomorrow. And then it'll be another one on the 15th. So don't freak out tomorrow if you can't withdraw or deposit, okay? Just throwing that out there. So that is natural with every single big upgrade. It has to happen. The code needs to be upgraded for the wallets, for the miners, for the network, for our validator, everyone, right? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. In the UK, new patrol cars are banned from 2030. I heard that, Neon Visual. I heard that before. So I don't know how UK is going to handle it, especially with everything going on. But congratulations. You guys have a new prime minister, Liz Truss. She seems to be pro-crypto. I did a whole video about her this morning, right? But she has a lot of things she has to deal with. So I don't know if she even wants to deal with that. There's a lot of stuff to deal with in the UK right now. All right. Okay, so just be prepared for tomorrow. What else is there? Well, there's a lot of stuff. Here's a Google search trend. So this kind of shows the maturity of the market. So this is specifically Bitcoin, but this is a good representation of the maturity of the entire market. So you look at a first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle, and you can argue we're in the fourth cycle, right? But you can see the first, second, third cycle, you only saw people search when it was pumping, when there was a FOMO pump, right? And people want to FOMO in. They don't really care about anything else other than when it was FOMOing. But you look at this last cycle, you could see there's a lot more spikes throughout the whole 3 years, right? And that's because people are learning more and more and more about Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain and decentralization and stuff like that. So just kind of shows you how, the entire market is growing up, not just focused on the FOMO pump, although I know many do and many are in this space just to, just to make a quick buck. I know that, or make life-changing wealth. But still, the market is still very early, but we are seeing signs of maturity, and that's good. That's good, right? Maturity of the holders, right? The investors, the ones that are staying in it for long haul, right? I've been telling you guys that they are getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Here's also a pretty good one. Someone accumulated all the average returns by month throughout Bitcoin's entire history, and it turns out only July and August are the months where average returns are negative. Every other month has been pretty good. And this goes all the way back to the very beginning, so maybe some of the numbers are skewed. But if this is correct, we just got out of the worst month, and we're heading in one of the best months, September, October. And October historically is the best return month. So maybe we have some good times ahead of us. So that would be pretty good. But, there are still some that don't believe. And I don't know why this guy was allowed to be interviewed. It's a nobody, and they just label this guy as one independent Bitcoin and crypto researcher. Okay, what are his credentials? What makes him credible in this space? No one knows. Okay, but they did interview this guy, and he's he's all doom and gloom. Sell all of your Bitcoin now. And this actually relates to Ethereum, right? And some of the things, just to summarize what he said, Bitcoin will never hit 69,000 again. Never, ever, ever. Okay? He's like, the climate crisis, ESG, right? Those things will hold Bitcoin down. And also, he did state that to quote, I think after the merge, investors and regulators are going to realize that Bitcoin's proof of work was never really necessary. We're going to see a huge crash in Bitcoin's price. What makes you think that? Okay, again, how credible are you? And to declare that Bitcoin will never ever see 69,000, I think you just lose all credibility right away, right? But anyways, there are still some that maybe he's an ETH bag holder. Maybe that's why he's saying it. I don't know, right? But it's just. Yeah, you still have a lot of people just, very, very negative. Always negative, right? Always negative. I just don't see the point of that. And in this case, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, so we got a lot of hype around Ethereum, the merge, right? But you got to recognize that Ethereum Classic is also skyrocketing. In fact, Ethereum Classic is skyrocketing more than Ethereum at this point. And the only reason why is because everyone thinks that the miners have nowhere to go but to Ethereum Classic, right? Like, I'm trying to be positive about Ethereum Classic. I'm trying to, see what their vision is, what their roadmap is. Are they going to follow in the same footsteps as Ethereum? Create this whole ecosystem of dApps and get involved with DeFi and all these things, right? I don't hear much about any of those things. I just hear about, yes, all the miners are going to go to Ethereum Classic. Yes. And then that's it, right? So I don't know what else is coming, but what I do know is this. It is definitely pumping. Like today, I said it's up about 24%. It's at 17 now. It seems to be climbing very, very fast, right? And because it's due to the merge and excitement over the merge. So we'll see if it continues, but that definitely we're seeing a lot of these projects that are proof of work get some momentum because of this. However, Charles Hoskinson and IOHK, who used to be big fans of Ethereum Classic, one of the reasons why Ethereum Classic has done so well is because Charles and IOHK has always been pro Ethereum Classic, been helping them with some bug fixes and stuff like that. Charles urged for them to come out with the treasury some time ago. They refused, right? And now it seems like Charles has completely given up on them. I love how Sustainable Development Fund turns into a miner's tax. ETC still gives me sadness for what could have been. It's a dead project with no purpose or real compelling argument to exist outside of spite. So you could see that Charles not a fan, right? So his treasury idea was for development, but I guess, I don't know, people are just saying that he just wants a miner tax. I don't know what the thing is. He basically, his argument was Ethereum Classic needed some funds to fund their own developers to keep at it and prevent 51% attacks and to have upgrades and stuff like that. But, they didn't like that idea, whoever's, voting on this. But Charles is like, they're dead. So he's not a fan of that. So I guess Ethereum Classic guys are no longer fans of Cardano. All right, so there's other stuff that's going on, right? Besides Ethereum Classic doing well, a lot of people have been asking me about FLUX. Is FLUX going to go up, right? Are all the miners going to go to FLUX? Well, they could. You can use GPU to mine FLUX, right? It's more of a, it's not an L1. It's more of like a decentralized cloud computing play, right? You can run your nodes. They have a big, partnership with Cadena, with UFO. Basically, if you have like Linux experience, any kind of, experience running AWS node or a Azure node or something like that, you could run a FLUX node, right? But, a lot of people are very hyped up about FLUX, thinking that the miners will move to FLUX. Maybe some of it. Not all of it, but maybe some of it. But they've been hanging around for a while, right? So that's another project that has gained some momentum recently, right? Another one is ERGO. Someone asked about ERGO. ERGO is going up as well, right? It's part of the Cardano ecosystem. So, a lot of people think, well, a lot of miners will go to ERGO. They're like a DeFi ecosystem kind of play for Cardano, or very tightly integrated with Cardano. So there's another project. And there's a few other smaller ones out there, but these are all the major ones. And I did, speaking of Cardano, I do have a feeling because right after the merge, Cardano's Vassal hard fork is also coming up. So we could definitely see some momentum switch to Cardano after, all this stuff that's happening with the merge is over, right? So keep your eye out on Cardano and some of the other projects related to Cardano, like with their stable coins and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of stuff coming up in September. So there you go. Did I miss this? Oh yeah, I saw this too. Ethereum's Merge starts to hit gaming chip prices. I talked about this before, right? And I said don't buy NVIDIA or AMD stock because they're going to get hit hard because a lot of miners will no longer need to buy all the expensive GPUs, right? So, yeah, you're starting to see NVIDIA and AMD suffer because of it. And you go see a ton of cards being sold on eBay and a lot of cards getting slashed in price because of the merge. Yes. All right, that is pretty much it. Let's see. Let me refresh. We're still at 1 trillion, right? It's good. Good overall day so far. Tomorrow could be better. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Chef Mike, why do you think Cadena not pumping? It's proof of work, right? But see, here's the thing. Not all proof of work means that you can mine with GPUs. For example, you can't mine Bitcoin with GPUs. You have to use ASIC miners. Same thing with Cadena. Cadena has its own miners. You can't just switch and use your GPUs, switch from Ethereum to Cadena. So, Chef, you got to realize not all proof of work chains utilize GPU mining. All right, let's see here. Let's see. A lot of excitement. Do you think Ethereum Classic going to pump? It's already pumped, man. Mellow J, I already talked about it. Yes, it's already pumped because people think that miners will move over, and probably majority of them will, but that doesn't mean that they actually have any real potential in the future. So maybe, who knows? Maybe things will change, but right now it's still up in the air. Should I buy the Lego BMW motorcycle? It's a good build. It's big. It's really big. Very complex. So if you like complex Lego sets, that's one of them. Do you think ETH will hit 3,000 by September? End of September? No, I don't. Kenny, gotta lower your expectation. It's not gonna double in 1 month. Any info on pooling mining pools suspending operations due to liquidity issues? I'm sorry, no. No, I have not kept up with that. I did not hear about that. Jeff, Hammer, hey, appreciate it. Looks like Asian market makers just making a run for liquidity. Could be. I mean, the market tomorrow is looking green right now. Obviously, today the markets were closed in the U.S. Europe got hammered, absolutely hammered, outside the UK, but Germany, Italy, you know, they got hammered. Asia right now is still somewhat in the green, right? So tomorrow will be interesting. Do we finally see some greens? Do we see green week? Your BTC price prediction a year from today? A year from today, that's interesting because I do think by then, we may get some rate cuts, and the economy could be blooming again. And maybe not, that's the wrong term. Maybe not blooming, but in pretty good recovery. So, I don't know. I think Bitcoin a year from now could be back to, what, 40, 50K? Maybe 50, and maybe even higher than 50. California is asking EV owners not to charge because of 115-degree temperatures, right? It's not forced. It's a request, not a mandate. Just wait until it becomes a mandate because I could see California saying that. Here's the thing. I've always said this. I know EV cars are the future, and, it's great daily drivers, but the infrastructure is just not there. You can't push this whole thing about moving everyone to EV cars by 2035. You did that, infrastructure around the country, around the world would collapse. They can't handle it. You can't upgrade that fast, right? So that's why I think you should let the free market dictate. Like, people see like Teslas and what they're doing and everyone's moving. Sure, great. But you shouldn't have to mandate like, okay, we got to cut off gas cars by 2035. 2035 is not that far away. That's only 13 years. In the car world, 13 years is only like 2 cycles, 2 maybe 3 cycles, which is not that far off. So I don't know. I think it's a mistake to force it like that or force it that early. Maybe by 2050 or 2070 or something. Isn't part of the reason Bitcoin dominance is going down is the fact that a higher percentage of the market cap in stablecoins? That's true, but it's not all in stablecoins. And you could definitely see like ETH dominance going up. That has nothing to do with stablecoins. So it's not. I think you're right somewhat. Stablecoins like Tether and USDC is definitely higher, but you can't deny some of these other projects that have also gotten much bigger too. So. It's a combination of both. All right, yeah, I see a lot of people asking about Luna Classic. Jeff, you don't have to delete all the comments on Luna Classic. There's too many too many people that love pumps. Okay, I've said this already. I said it again. My mind's not gonna be changed. There are a lot of market makers and whales manipulating the price of Luna Classic, forcing people to FOMO in because it's pretty boring right now. People love pumps and people love to chase pumps. So if you want to gamble, you want to do some swing trading, right? Go ahead. But don't expect a 1.2% burn to change the fundamentals of Luna Classic and make it burn 6 trillion coins so that it could go back up to $1 or $10 or $100. It's not going to happen. Do some math. Okay? So that's it. There's nothing else to say. If you want to gamble, you want to, put some chips in to Luna Classic, you want to see it rise, right? Great. But it's not the same as before. There is no fundamentals anymore. It's simply just a meme / pump coin at this point, right? If it works out and it continues to pump and it goes to the top 10 and stays there, great. Then it help make some people some money back, right? But what I fear is, and I've seen this time and time again, you get a lot of these pumps caused by these market makers. Everyone's feeling good, thinking that they can't lose money, and they put more and more in, and then boom, it crashes, and then everyone that bought at top loses everything they have again. And I don't want to see that happen. And I've seen it way too many times over the last 5 years, so be careful. Be careful. Rarely do these pumps work. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. Let's see here. People keep saying the math shows it will. A 1.2% burn. The math shows it will. It'll burn $6 trillion, 6 trillion tokens like it's nothing, like it's going to happen tomorrow. This is the reason why people buy small denomination coins, because they think that, oh, it's cheaper. It's going to go to $1 or it's going to go to $20, right? This is the reason why some people originally believed that XRP could go to $589 or SHIB could go to $100 or Doge could go to $20,000. People don't do the math on what the market cap actually is if that happens, and it's virtually impossible, just like people doing the math on 1.2% and they're compounding and dropping some zeros and they're like, oh yeah, it's going to burn 6 trillion like in no time. No, it's not. But again, if you made some money gambling with it, congratulations, but be careful. Be very, very careful. Chris. Hello from Bali. Look at the fake out wick from August 2020 before last dump. Looks like we just got the same thing. No. I'm just going to say no. How do you calculate volume to market cap to know it's actually pumping? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, what's a good volume to be considered a real pump? Is that what you're saying? I mean, you could just compare it to before. Like, I don't know, you go to the day chart, you bring up volume, right? You could see massive sell volume over here, massive sell volume over here, right? Yeah, you could see some of the volumes, massive sell volume over here. Over here, you could see this range, very light volume, right? Over here, we're having more volume than before. So actually, on our way up, we actually had pretty low volume. And then we had a volume pick up when things were coming down, and then a lot of volume here when we found that bottom. Boba Network, never heard of it. Zach, I know, and everyone else knows, except the people that are trying to pump it. Or some people that are trying to chase the pump, right? So, unfortunately, people have to learn the hard way sometimes for them to really understand. And I don't wish it upon anyone, but that's just the reality. Man, we just fell down a lot from the 1 trillion, unfortunately. But, you know, we're still up overall. This year has gone by so fast. I got to agree with that. It has moved really, really, really fast. Really fast. Have not heard about Polkadot. Not really any updates right now with Polkadot. Wow, I know why. What did I just say? I have this is for all the Luna Classic guys, right? See, this is what I'm afraid of. This is what I warn people about, right? And now there could be a chance it goes back up, but that's a pretty big drop from top. And I have seen pumps like this where the red candlesticks continues and keeps going and going and going and goes all the way back, right? And that's what I'm afraid of, because a lot of people FOMO in right around here, and then when things come down, right, then they start incurring huge losses. So be careful. Be very, very careful. Thoughts on ENS? You like its future? I think ENS is interesting. You know, Ethereum-based domain names, right? I mean, you got to do two big players as ENS and Unstoppable Domains. Unstoppable Domains seems to be, in my opinion, in better shape because they deal with many different domains. ENS is basically primarily just Ethereum-based domains. So, you know, Unstoppable Domains, they're basically minting everything on Polygon, which is EVM compatible. But I like the fact that you have more, you have more domains like .crypto, .nft, .blockchain, right? These are cool domain names that you could get on Unstoppable Domains. When ENS, you only have one, right? So share your thoughts on Cosmos. I did. Someone asked about it. Cosmos actually has been doing very well. They got hurt. They got hurt by Luna quite a bit, but they still have a vast ecosystem. Their DeFi is still growing, and I like Cosmos. I think they're one of the bigger L1s that has a really good chance to do great things in the future. So I like Cosmos. And recently, Van Eyck also said great things about Cosmos because they're bag holders. Is Binance the only exchange to receive the other ETH fork tokens? I don't even know. I have not kept up. If I know Justin Sun was trying to cause all this problems with ETHW, right? Like there's supposed to be another fork of Ethereum. I don't know if that's true because all the dApp makers have come out and said they're not supporting it. So I don't know if there will be other fork tokens. I have not kept up with that. I haven't heard much about it. Thoughts on McDonald's coin? Hey, if you caught that free McDonald's NFT, that could be worth some serious bucks in the future. I told people when I first heard about it, I'm like, go grab one, because that will be their very first NFT, and if NFTs continue to do well in the future, that is going to do, that's going to sell well. So hopefully you guys picked one up. How come you don't talk about stocks? I do in the mornings, usually not at night, but I do in the mornings. I cover, obviously the U.S. markets, world markets, kind of look at some of these stocks. But quite honestly, like, so many like bore me, right? Like, I care about tech companies, car companies, but I don't care about like CVS, or Johnson & Johnson, like these other Home Depot, Walmart. Like, I don't care. Those are so slow moving. They do not interest me at all, right? So the only ones I look at are like Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, right? And because the EV plays, starting to look at a little bit more on like Ford and stuff like that. But there's so many stocks that's just so boring. Once you're into crypto, it's like, all these stocks that move like 2% a year, not interesting anymore. Where's the best place to stake Polygon? The best is you actually just do it natively. Download Polygon's wallet and stake within. But you could do it on several exchanges too. They offer staking. You could do it from Trust Wallet too. There's a lot of places to natively stake Polygon. Solar plans on a new house. I'm not so sure. The payback on solar is like so long, 10, 15 years. I don't know if it's worth it. And the tax incentives for getting solar is decreasing every single year, unless they bring up more incentives to move forward. And plus, solar panels look really ugly. Is buying XRP on Uphold safe? I mean, Uphold has been around for several years. I don't use them personally. I say yes. You could buy XRP on KuCoin as well, right? I would say that's probably a safer bet, but Uphold, I guess, is okay. I've used them a little bit, but not that much. Any info on Binance not supporting USDC, USDP, USD? I read that. It's not really. I think they just want to keep less of the tokens on hand, because when you withdraw, you can still withdraw whatever you want. So even though it converts to BUSD, they want to improve liquidity, but if you want to withdraw USDC, they'll let you do it. So I don't know. I don't see a big deal. Like, FTX works the same way. Like, if you get a stablecoin, FTX is bundled into like this cash pile, and then when you withdraw, you just choose what you want to withdraw. You want to withdraw Tether or USDC or whatever it does. So I don't think it's a big deal. Jordan, I'm in Canada. It's light out for only 6 hours a day for 6 months of the year. The 4 people I know who got solar love them, but they got it in 2 years ago. I mean, yeah, because I know in the U.S. there were major tax incentives for getting solar, but it's been decreasing every year. So now it's to a point where it's like, I don't know. I've done the math on the current house I'm in, and it's like the math shows it's like 15 years or 15 or 16 years to pay back. And I'm like, I just don't want to spend that much money up front to recover after 16 years, especially like, I don't even know I'm going to be in this house, which I'm not because I'm moving, right? So it's like one of those things. I don't think it's necessary. Will your garage be built high enough to a car lift? Yes. It's going to be 13 feet high, and I did that on purpose. I rose the house by 1 feet to give it an extra clearance. So I'll be able to have 3 car lifts in there if I wanted to toward the back. So I can expand it to like 9 cars if I wanted to. But most likely I'm probably only going to put 1 lift or 2 lifts in there. But I'm looking forward to it. There's some kind of Russian name that I can't pronounce, but I appreciate it. DXY in struggling. You mean struggling? That would be good. Unfortunately, Bitcoin just lost all the gains it just had. But let's look at DXY real quick. DXY is not falling. DXY is still 109 and 110. I'm telling you guys this. DXY is not going to move when other countries are suffering, okay? The euro is suffering. The British pound is suffering. The Japanese yen is suffering, right, due to their own problems. So the DXY is not going to come down. The DXY is simply the strength of the dollar versus all these other currencies. And if these other currencies are all doing poorly, there's no way DXY is going to come down. So DXY might hover up here for quite some time. We have seen levels much higher. Hopefully we don't see it go higher, but if you zoom out, DXY has been way higher. The next stop probably will be like 120s here, right? Hopefully it doesn't go that high, because that's really high. And then after that, you got a 160 up here. Hopefully it does not go up that far. XRP. Yeah, XRP is still XRP. Not much more to say about that. DXY is a good overall indicator. I mean, it doesn't have to be I think a lot of people look at DXY as a macro indicator, right? Whether or not money will flow back into equities and markets and crypto. And I think for now, yes, that is definitely a good indicator to look at. But as things improve, right, it's not always going to be the case, especially since DXY is skewed right now because of the global economy. So we're just in a weird situation right now. I guess that's the best way to look at it. So yes and no. Engine, I haven't heard much about Engine recently. They lost a lot of momentum with their Infinity chain, with just Engine themselves. This crypto winter has been harsh, and I haven't heard much about them recently. Can you comment on FLUX? I already did. Basically, a lot of people cited that miners may be moving over to FLUX, and it's really the reason why it's going up. JS is not ranking at 2 billion because CMC basically has declared it a shitcoin, and they don't want to list it at the real ranking anymore. That's the reason why. Ever since they forked, CMC is like, nope, we're not going to be listing them at their current value, I guess, and that's why. You got to complain to CMC to get that fixed. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Let's see. Let's do one last refresh. Man, unfortunately, we were not able to hold on to 20K gains for Bitcoin, but at least Ethereum is still up. Ethereum Classic is up. A lot of the other coins, ERGO, FLUX, are up, all due to the merge. So there's a big upgrade coming tomorrow, okay? So be prepared for that. There's a big upgrade tomorrow, so several exchanges, actually, I should say all the exchanges, will be stopping deposits and withdrawals for that upgrade. And then the true merge will come on the 15th. So a lot of excitement. Be ready. All right, guys. Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. Usual time, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Orange Lambo. No new project I'm excited about. None. Sorry. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.